Hello and welcome back to Lush Velvet Coasters, and I have got my camera back. Today I thought I would do the same as last year, keep it in tradition and make a video of the 2019 year in review, going month by month, trip by trip of all the really cool stuff that we've got to do this year. I have got my brew, I have lit my candle. Grab a brew, light your candle. So let's get into it. Starting off in January, I shaved my head. It'd been something that I wanted to do for a while, and I wanted to kind of get to share it with you guys on the channel because it was a really pivotal moment. It grew my confidence a ton. It was just honestly just one of those weird random things that I'd always wanted to do, and I just thought, new year, fresh start, I had a new job, I had more positive people surrounding me, and I just thought, screw it, let's do it. And as you can tell throughout the rest of the year, I've been growing it out since. Don't think I've been doing too bad. So February is when theme park season begun, and the awful pain of close season was finally over. So we went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach in February. I think we went the second weekend that it was open. It was obviously rammed, absolutely rammed. We didn't really get to ride much, but it was so nice to get back to theme parks. We got to see Icon in the sunset, although I, in true me fashion, avoided it. But that changed throughout the year, so that's good. And just like that, April arrived. April was when we went back to Alton Towers, right at the end of the month. We went for the 2-day stay for my 23rd birthday, oh god. So I decided, what better time to crack on with Nemesis when there's 2 days, I have plenty of time to build up to it. So on day one, I set myself the goal of Wicker Man, so we did a few of like the dark forest rides and things that I was comfortable with in the morning, and things like rapids, and just really took it easy, and then just went over to Wicker Man. I think I knew from Florida that I would be able to do it, but having such a long break, I'd really resensitized myself. And yeah, Wicker Man was a really good feat for me. I know it's like basically a family coaster, but with me avoiding it for so long, I've built it up for myself worse than I would have done otherwise, so it was really good to do that. And then on the second day, I managed to get on Nemesis after a lot of building up on other rides and really boosting myself up, really preparing myself. And honestly, the moment that we were dispatched, I was so excited. It felt so natural. It was a really good feeling. Not long after that, I emailed John Wardley, as per my episode, which I'll put down in the description, where I was emailing him asking for advice. So yeah, I emailed him with like a thanks and, you know, thank you for everything, really glad I got to do it, and he sent me this back. Hi Nikki, I'm thrilled that you have conquered your fear of Nemesis. As I said in my email to you, the sense of achievement you have now makes the trepidation you originally had so insignificant. Congratulations, now Smiler and Oblivion should hold no fears for you. All the best, John. This will feed onto something that happened later in the year, which just like brought the whole thing full circle. But honestly, not only doing something that I'd set my mind to for a really long time, and having the man who created it congratulating me and celebrating with me was just ridiculous. Like, so yeah, that was around the time of my birthday as well. Ugh. Some things happened in May, didn't have all the like big milestones anymore, but I did make my 5 steps to defeat, like how I defeated my Nemesis type video. And then a little bit later in the month we went to Blackpool. I don't remember a ton from that day, I just remember that I got on Icon and I loved it, and it brought it into top 10 territory. Whether it's there now, find out soon. But yeah, I did Icon, I loved it. Did a bunch of the other stuff that I've done before, but it was just a really average trip. It was just not a massive thing, but actually getting an Icon was something to be proud of. And then right at the end of the month, I met Lizzie. So we'd been talking on Twitter for a really long time. Like, she was the first person in the community that I met as well, which was really scary at first, but as soon as we met, we were at ease. We are still very good friends now. We have since established Trick Track. Like, she's one of my best friends, so yeah, that was a nice little way to end the month, making good friendships. And in that trip, also, because I only had 2 rides left to do at Towers, I went with the intention of maybe trying the Smiler, and I just banged them all out. Thanks to Lizzie for all the encouragement and answering my 1,000,001 questions about, well, how's this bit in the Smiler? Is this bit scary? Like, it was a really good day. I came out of it really emotional, feeling really fulfilled, like I had friends again, felt like I just wanted to tick off parks, and that's what I ended up doing this year, and it was really cool. So yeah, I did Oblivion, which I never even thought I wanted to go near, and it's now one of my favourites, so there we go. Now on to June was our long-awaited trip to Disneyland Paris, where we went for, I think it was 3 days. So we did a day at the main park where we did Big Thunder, which has turned into one of my all-time favourite coasters. Like, the Big Thunder there knocks it out of the park in terms of Big Thunder rides. It was brilliant. Hyperspace Mountain was pretty good. Unfortunately, a lot of the Pirates area was closed when we went, as well as the Buzz Lightyear ride, but out of all the things that we did, it was really, really good, and just really nice to get back to Disney. It was just like, it was something I'd had to look forward to for months, and it was really, really good. Days 2 and 3 we went to the Studios Park, where I was reunited with Tower of Terror. Wouldn't say this one was quite as good, but I got my hands up and just experienced all the thrills, really made the most of it. Ended up loving IC Racer, which has given me a new appreciation for flat rides. I kind of class it as a flat ride coaster, I don't know about you. Obviously got on Rock and Roller Coaster, and we'd really made a point of going before September when it shut, and I'm really glad we did it. And I could tell why it was having a refurb. It was a little bit plain in places. And Crush's Coaster gave me a new love for spinning coasters. I absolutely love that ride. Don't know about you, I know it's just a little spinning coaster, but it was so much fun, and it was a really good little wholesome trip. Then towards the end of the month, for the 12th anniversary of the channel, I rode Icon 12 times. I chose Icon because it was the sort of roller coaster from my first video, and it was like the big goal in my first video, so rode that 12 times. Not as easy as you think. I know 12 isn't a lot, but it's a long ride. I'm still not that incredibly brave with coasters, if I'm completely honest, so that was really fun. And while we were there, I was just desperate to have breaks from that ride at certain points. We ended up doing Infusion, which I absolutely despised. I don't mind it as much now, but that was a big step, if I'm gonna say. And then we did the big one, which
horrible. That was actually deplorable.
So in July, a big bunch of us went to Alton Towers to celebrate a friend's birthday. It was a really good day out, kind of getting some people who weren't enthusiasts or weren't regular to the park. In fact, I don't think they've been to the park in a very long time. So it was really nice just seeing people's genuine first reactions to rides. We had a really, really good time. Seeing one of our mates' reactions to 13 was hilarious. He was just screaming, what the, like, over and over. It was so fun. A week later, I went back and met Amy, who was the second community member who I met, and we had a really, really good day. Again, hit it off straight away. We took our son Det Bulb, I'll put a picture here, but it's hard to explain what the hell Det Bulb is. It's a stupid meme we made. Yeah, we took him to Alton Towers to the Nemesis pit just because. We had a really, really good day. Amy is the grandmaster of ride follows. She took this gem on Nemesis. We had this picture on Wickerman. And although Smiler was down, which I was gutted about, she convinced me to go on Spinball. We'd got some fast passes from stuff shutting down. So yeah, we did Spinball, and I haven't done that ride since 2016, where I honestly screamed my heart out and I was terrified of it. And now I really like it, so thanks Amy. So towards the end of the month, I went to Blackpool again for the late night riding to meet up with Adam from the Joy Sequence and his friend Josh. So we went sort of back and forth between the park and then Wetherspoons to have some drinks, and it was just a really good chill day. Again, hit it off dead easy. It was a really, really fun time. Me and Adam are still very good friends now. We've filmed a couple of projects together since, which has been really cool. It's good to have someone who's really into the filming and creating productions and who wants to involve me, so thanks. But yeah, the ops on that day were absolutely horrific, if I'm honest. Icon was down a lot of the day. A lot of rides didn't even open. It was a really bad mishmash of a day. However, the good company obviously made it worth it. So August was filled with all sorts. I got to experience Joy, which was the Joy Sequence's latest attraction, and it's basically a horror maze with complete sensory overload. Please watch his trailer. I will stick it either in the description or in a card if I can figure that out. But honestly, it was a brilliant experience. He invited me to go as a bit of a behind the scenes, like VIP access. I like interviewed him. It was my first project where I actually had like any kind of special access and first preview, and it was so much fun. It was so scary, but it like, I think it bonded us for life. You got to see me in my worst. I had night vision on my face, like night vision camera on. It was such a big project to work on and really fun, and it really reignited my passion for doing what I do on the channel. Also in that month I debuted my new logo, which is at the beginning of every video. That took months of redesigning, rethinking, not knowing what the hell to do, and then at the last minute it just kind of fell together. I'd drawn this image of Nemesis that I really liked because it isn't my #1 still, but it's so special to me and this channel. So I drew the Nemesis
upside down corkscrew.
And I drew a heart that I wanted, and then I had this idea in my head and I thought, oh, am I gonna have to tweak bits? And then I put the corkscrew on and it just fit perfectly and it worked out really well. And yeah, it might just feel like a little silly thing. I now feel like I have something that I'm proud of to put as the face of my channel every video. And most mind-blowingly, National Roller Coaster Day happened, and this year is also the 25th year of Nemesis's operations. Nemesis's operations, and it was announced that John Wardley was going to attend Alton Towers for this event, which still hasn't sunk in. So we were obviously just like, book the day off work, we are going. We knew the times and everything of the meets, and we did Nemesis a crap load of times. We got a picture with the special frame. It was me, Adam, Jodie and Becky who went, so it was really, really good company, and it was just, he was so lovely, and it just brought the whole thing full circle. Like, he was congratulating me again on Nemesis, he was talking about trepidation and things which he'd said in his email. It just really felt full circle seeing his response in person, and like his encouragement about the community. And I've since read his book, which was just really, really cool. Honestly, it was just like meeting like the biggest celebrity for most people. It was just an honour to meet him, and an honour to celebrate Nemesis's 25th birthday with the signage and everything else going on. I kept seeing Sean Sandbrook doing laps around Nemesis. We did ride some other stuff too, but Nemesis was definitely the main attraction, and honestly it was just such a special day. I was so glad to be a part of it, and I got a picture with John Wardley and got to shake his hand and thank him, so what else could you possibly ask for? So in September, a bunch of us went back to Alton Towers and kind of just had another little fun day there. I got to take Camille back, which he doesn't go very often, so it's nice when he comes with us. We rode a bunch of stuff as usual, did a nice little video with us all. He said hi Jaden about 12 times, so a little bit later on we went off to Wallaby Holland, which was literally the most like last minute thing I've ever done in my life. Adam messaged and was just like, what would you think about going to Wallaby in like 2 weeks notice I must have had. Him and Philip chucked together this perfect plan of like what we're gonna do, what train to get. Like, they literally took care of everything, so I'm so grateful for that because I don't have the slightest idea. So yeah, we went to Wallaby, obviously for Untamed, which exceeded all my expectations. Honestly, it was RMC's. I really want to get out there and do more. It was brilliant. The atmosphere of the park was amazing. We got to go behind the scenes of Goliath. It is an underdog, that ride. It is so underappreciated. Got to do Lost Gravity, which I've only ever seen on vlogs and stuff, so like it was just so nice to go. Really good atmosphere, surrounded by enthusiasts on the first day. Got toured around by Dower, and I just honestly couldn't have asked for better company. It was such a good little trip, and even though it was like a 3-day little excursion, we got to see Amsterdam as well, and it was just honestly one of the highlights of the year for sure. Then me and Adam ended the month with a quick little trip to Alton Towers, just the two of us. We'd wanted for a while just to go and just to get to binge ride, just a couple of enthusiasts who don't even want a second to eat, drink, sit down or pee. You just ride, and that's exactly what we did. We did Oblivion 7 times, and he taught me the glorious art of, like, hear me out, arms up, loose restraint. Oblivion is like the air time is, you physically just lift up out your seat the entire drop. It's the closest thing to like ejector that you can get in the UK. Yeah, it was just a really good random day. It's just like, if some enthusiasts will just dream of going to a park and binging rides and not having to worry about anything else, and that's exactly what we did. And what a good end to the month. In October we filmed our little Q&A here again, hello. And then towards the end of the month we did Scarefest, which we'd picked a pretty good time to go. The first day that we were there was pretty much dead all day. We did one maze, which was Darkest Depths, which I really loved and I would 100% do again. It was brilliant. Seeing Wicker Man at night time was absolutely mind-blowing. It is stunning, and it upsets me so much that just a couple days later it was running awful. But yeah, seeing that in the night was amazing. Nemesis at night time was absolutely terrifying. It was smooth as all hell, fast as anything. Like, I physically was tearing up to cry out of pure terror. It was just literally terror. It was brilliant though. A ride that old, just hauling like that, front row at night, feeling like you're gonna smash into everything. Like, you cannot beat that. That was brilliant. And then the second day we met up with Luke from Unreliable Coaster Blog, who I'd been talking to pretty much since I joined Twitter right at the start of the year. He was brilliant to ride with. He is as well quite new to actually riding big stuff, and he's gonna smash it next year. Like, he is genuinely one of the like sweetest people I've ever met. He's so nice. He loves Wicker Man and defends it to his death, which hella respect. Yeah, he's a really good egg. He is also part of Trick Track and really fun to podcast with. And then we end the theme park season with November. We went to Blackpool closing weekend and I got to meet Amy again, which was just amazing. Like, we hadn't seen each other in a long time. We still talk a lot. Like, she was lovely enough to invite me to a big group trip. I got to meet a bunch of people from the Coasterbot Discord and that I'd seen on YouTube or that I'd spoken to on Twitter. Like, I got to meet so many people that I'd really wanted to meet, and it was a really wholesome day. We had lunch at Velvet Coaster, we stayed really late. I then met up with someone who I'd met at a meetup years ago and not been able to speak to since, so now we're really good friends. Like, it's genuinely just it was a really wholesome end to the season. Big Dipper ended up being my favourite ride at Blackpool by the end of that trip, believe it or not. It was just, yeah, it was amazing. Not to forget as well, at the end of November we established Trick Track, which is our little podcast. So if you ever think I'm not very active on here, we have like pretty regular, I'd say kind of weekly uploads on there at the moment. We're still figuring stuff out, but we've got an amazing reception from people watching the podcast. We did an episode on Cards Against Humanity. We also had The Drop guesting on our very second episode. If that doesn't say how good it is, you need to see for yourself. I will stick a link in the description for the Trick Track channel. Honestly, it has been such a good way to round off the year. It's made me love making videos and making content again. So you'll be seeing much more Trick Track stuff over the next year, and hopefully we'll be meeting more podcast people. So with that, we're on December. At the moment, we're still just kind of working on Trick Track and honestly just patiently waiting for the new year to start. I thought what it'd be a good way to round up the year, just doing a little look back like this, and then at the end of next year we can look back on this video and see all the new things that have happened since then. So if you have made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Thanks for all the endless support, guys. I'm really excited to see where we are in another 12 months. So see you next time. Bye.